Today we're exploring an area of the Appalachian region of southern Ohio known as the Little Cities of Black Diamonds. The term was originally coined by a local newspaperman in the 19th century to describe these coal mining towns. As you can imagine, with the need for coal dwindling, industries closed down and many of the communities have faded away. But there are some towns like Nelsonville that have found new life. We sent architectural historian Jeff Darby over there to check it out.
We're in the region known as the Little Cities of Black Diamonds. That name was given to these communities, around 70 communities in southeastern Ohio. The Little Cities were the coal mining towns that were thriving in the early 20th century. After about 1920, they fell on kind of hard times after the coal industry began to decline. But there's definitely a recovery taking place. You're seeing new investment, you're seeing new businesses. So we're going to visit Nelsonville today and visit one of the most important buildings in town, Stewart's Opera House, which is well over 100 years old. We're going to see what an old-time opera house was like and how it thrives and survives today. Hello, Melissa.
Hello, how are you? Welcome to Stewart's Opera House.
Thanks so much. I'm glad to see it and glad to be here. Thanks so much for inviting us.
Absolutely.
This is quite a space.
It is quite a space. So you are standing in the grand lobby of Stewart's Opera House. This space is a multi-purpose space, lobbies for shows that happen in the Opera House, as well as weddings and other community events.
So this is a new space, but it's a very historic building.
It's a very historic building. Stewart's Opera House was built by George Stewart, who prior to building the Opera House ran a showboat on the canal system here in southeast Ohio. His showboat sank up in the Erie Canal. He came back to Nelsonville and he was married to a member of the Dew family, a very prominent family here in Nelsonville. They own this property here on the square, and he built this opera house in 1879.
Was opera actually performed here?
No. So the interesting thing, the history of opera houses in southeast Ohio were that they were often styled similarly in architectural terms as far as opera houses in Europe. They were called opera houses because it sort of elevated them culturally and aesthetically above theater. So obviously theater was a major thing that was happening in those spaces, but they were also community centers. So there would be family reunions, there would be high school graduations. There was even a boxing match that happened up in Stewart's Opera House.
Well, and Nelsonville is lucky to have its opera house. So many communities have lost them.
You're right.
But fortunately you have yours.
We do. It opened in 1879, ran until about 1924. What was happening at that time was the rise in motion pictures. So a lot of opera houses had to sort of pivot because the demand for entertainment was changing. My understanding is that Stewart's did attempt to become a motion picture theater for a period of time, but there were already two other motion pictures theaters on the public square here. So it closed its doors in 1924, and literally the owners locked the door and walked away, leaving everything in that space, which is on the second floor right above it.
And how long did it sit unused?
It sat unused until the mid-70s. So that's a long time for a community to be disconnected from, you know, one of the biggest buildings on their public square. A small group of citizens in Nelsonville recognized its value. The decision was made to form a nonprofit around the theatrical history that was preserved, and also to open it up as a venue, a performing venue, which they finally did in the late 70s.
I'm glad to learn so much about the building, but I imagine there's more.
Absolutely. Follow me.
Okay. Oh, what a space.
Yeah, so welcome to the historic green room of Stewart's Opera House.
It's not green, but it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, so a green room is the space where the artists come, so they can get ready, be spoiled, eat, shower, you know, do what they need to do before they get on stage and perform for everyone.
Well, I did see some old posters as we came in. Tell me about those.
Absolutely. So we are really fortunate to have those. Those are, you know, roughly turn of the century, late 1800s, early 1900s. So traveling theater groups would come up the canal system, travel from town to town, and put up playbills and flyers of their upcoming performances. So these would have originally adorned the back wall of the stage, which we lost in a fire. However, this green room was not affected by the fire, so we are very, very fortunate to have what few original playbills that we have.
Well, tell me about the balcony here and these sliding doors.
So those are original dressing rooms, and if you will notice, they are numbered 6 through 12. So the other set would have been along the backstage of the theater. Those suffered a fate in the fire.
All the posters, these represent shows that have been here.
Absolutely. So since we reopened, we have become one of the premier presenting theaters in Southeast Ohio. So these posters all reflect really the local, regional, national, international, Grammy award-winning, you name it, that have performed on the Stewart's Opera House stage.
So musicians, touring theater companies?
We actually have our own community theater group, ABC Players, so they'll put on about 4 to 7 productions a year.
So this space is where the actors would get ready, the performers would get ready, but then they were headed for the stage itself. That's the next stop.
Absolutely, it's the main attraction. Let's go.
This is looking familiar. I had a brief acting career in high school and college, and that feeling of when you get on stage is, there's nothing quite like it.
There's nothing quite like it, is it?
Well, it's a marvelous space. The balcony's beautiful, and you said this was damaged in the fire.
Yeah, so the Opera House reopened in the late 70s and was, really the community was excited, things were happening, and then there was a fire. And the fire destroyed the stage that we're standing on now, the box seats, and the house floor. We still have the original fixed seating that you see here because it had been removed for restoration. We were very fortunate to preserve that aspect of history.
So the theater is in its original configuration after the restoration?
Well, so originally the house floor you see now is raked. Back in the day it would have been a flat floor with no fixed seating. And the purpose behind that was that this was a multi-purpose venue. There were family reunions happening, high school graduations. They wanted to be able to configure the space as it made sense for the community. The other interesting feature architecturally is the dome in the house ceiling, which many people believe contributes to the good acoustics in the space, but also it was probably ventilation prior to electricity. So when different gas lighting and things were happening in the house, the fumes needed somewhere to go.
And what's the capacity here?
395 fixed seats. We set up folding chairs in the back, and a full sold-out show is about 450.
So it's safe to say you're on a reasonably sound financial footing. You always wonder about historic places like this.
We are very fortunate to have a very dedicated membership base, local foundations that support us, as well as rental activities that we have. Also, the Nelsonville Music Festival is a multi-day outdoor music festival that Stewart's Opera House produces, and that has also been financially very important.
So clearly you're a big part of the community. Why is it important for something like this to get preserved for a community like Nelsonville?
Economically, I think it's incredibly important to small communities like this, but also a sense of pride in the history and the cultural impact that Nelsonville and Stewart's Opera House has made. So in addition to this, we have an arts education center and a dynamic arts education program that is accessible and oftentimes free to participate for the students and the youth of our community. And it's a way to get them back into the Opera House along with their families. You know, we always tell the community, this is your Opera House, this is your space, and we do everything we can to enable them to use it.
Well, it's good to know, that a place like this does have an economic base that makes sense for the community, that enables it to continue in operation. And I do want to thank you for a wonderful tour. It's
Absolutely.
been really
Thank you so much for being here.
Glad to be here.
Columbus railroads are part of a vast network connecting countless destinations. In the late 1800s, thousands of carloads of coal and tile came to Columbus from Haydenville, which today is called the last company town in Ohio. Here's the story of Peter Hayden and the empire he built with coal and clay.
Peter Hayden was this rather remarkable individual from New York. He started out when he was about 19 years old and signed a contract with the Auburn Penitentiary for inmate labor. And what he did is he created a saddlery within the walls of the prison, using the inmates to create the hardware for the saddles. And he also made hand tools. He did that for about 9 years or so, and for some reason he decided to come to Columbus. He struck a deal with the Ohio Penitentiary to use inmate labor to create another saddlery and another company making hand tools. At some point, he decided he needed coal, and he was drawn to this area.
We had the iron ore, we had coal, there was salt down here, sandstone, all this that they needed elsewhere.
Hayden was fortunate in that he arrived just as the canal system was unfolding across Ohio. The feeder canal to Columbus was completed in 1831 and started extending this way, reaching down to, through Nelsonville to Athens.
Yeah. I'm amazed at how square they are. This canal ran from about 1836, there was about 30 years. It's about all they got out of the canals. Then it was replaced by the trains.
Haydenville is one of the little cities of black diamonds, and they were called that because they were developed around coal mining. Coal was discovered in the Hocking Valley as early as 1755.
The interesting thing about when he came here and found the coal was he also found really rich deposits of clay.
It was in 1883 that Peter Hayden founded the Haydenville Mining and Manufacturing Company to take advantage of the clay that was here. And they used the clay for bricks, for silo tile, for conduit, anything that you could make out of clay they made here. They even made umbrella stands.
Work in a tile factory would be very hard, very hot labor. It would be sweaty. You would be on a team with a lot of people doing very, very manual work.
The plant had up to 360 people at one time working for them. Some worked in coal mines, some worked in the clay mines, some worked on the railroad and in the factory, in the kilns. And there'd be somebody standing there shoveling coal in that thing all day.
The thing about having this manufacturing operation here is that you needed housing for your people. And he had this idea of creating a model community. And he ended up building all these houses out of products that came out of his plant. They're built out of brick, tile, sewer pipes.
Being in a company town means everything is owned by the company. The community, the homes, all your needs are met by the company.
So in a company town, since the company owns the land and owns the houses, for the most part they're going to be very similar. Housing would be assigned most likely by the company, so different families of different sizes might be able to sort of argue their way into something more unique, something a little bit bigger if they needed it. Also, supervisors might be entitled to a larger house, more space, more of a yard.
Yeah, I particularly like these because they have more decorative features than the straight row houses do. You see they've got arched windows and arched doors, whereas the row houses don't. But the sewer pipe, which is sewer Gothic, as it was called, makes it really stand out. I assume that these were for some of the higher people in the company. So there's just a group of them along here.
There used to be 5 of them.
Behind me is a really unique church. It's the Haydenville Church, built out of the Haydenville tile. So that's going to be all local clay that you see there, making the really beautiful designs.
I found this fascinating, that the town basically was salesman samples, that they would bring customers to Haydenville to see how their tile and brick and everything they manufacture, all their ceramics could be used. This house behind us, it's built of silo tile.
Yes.
So if you want to see what a silo tile building would look like, this is an example of it.
There were 17 or so built in about 1917. We had a couple over by the Hocking River, and we had this one, and then the rest were clear over at the mines.
So one of the problems with a company town is when the company leaves, when the company folds, when there's massive layoffs, there's no longer a town to be supported. There's no more company store. The people who lived there either don't have their homes anymore because they're not working for the company anymore, or if the land has been sold off to individuals, there's no real reason to stick around. And unfortunately, that's part of what happened in this area. This was partially due to the rise of mechanization.
Haydenville was considered the last of the company towns. The Natco company sold off the houses in 1964. That time there were 112 houses, 8 of which were doubles. From an industrial standpoint, Peter Hayden definitely was one of the founders of Columbus. He had his fingers in everything, and he had businesses in Chicago, Detroit, San Francisco, New Jersey. He was in banking. He was involved with streetcars. He made cannonballs during the Civil War. His bank, the Hayden Clinton Bank, is the oldest building on Capitol Square in downtown Columbus, and yet, we don't really recognize his name anymore.
Now, he was also well loved here. He was very good to his people, and for a good, hard day's work, he gave them a good living.
The inscription on his beautiful window, which was dedicated to Peter Hayden, reads, "So he fed them according to the integrity of his heart and guided them by the skillfulness of his hands." I think that that really is kind of a testament to the legacy of Peter Hayden in this community.
So I think the legacy of Peter Hayden is alive and well in the people who are still in these towns. As we were researching the book, we met a lot of people who are really devoted to this area. Maybe their grandfathers or great-grandfathers worked here, their families from here, they love it here.
Plaque.
National Register plaque.
Towns like this really need something new to come in. Tourism, I think, could be wonderful in this area. It's a gorgeous area. So what Haydenville really needs is another woman or man like Peter Hayden, someone who sees the potential value, sees what could happen here, and then really makes it happen.
Theaters have historically been the places that have brought people together. And in Shawnee, Ohio, their hope is that by restoring the Tecumseh Theater, the community can once again have a gathering place. Architectural historians Jeff Darby and Nancy Ritchie visited Shawnee to find out more.
Southern Perry County is one of my favorite places in Ohio. I think it's yours too, isn't it, Nancy? Shawnee?
It is one of my favorites. And part of the reason is you brought me here when we were just beginning to date. And I thought this is a really interesting place to go. And I was new to preservation, and you were introducing me to interesting places around the state. And I always remember that. I think it was back in 1976.
Yeah, a long time ago. Dates from 1873, along with the rest of this coal-producing region in Appalachian, Ohio, began to suffer in the 1920s as the coal market changed and other areas began to compete. Towns like this lost their economic base, which basically was coal mining. Historically, it's a very important place. Architecturally, it's quite unusual, particularly for what we call the overhanging porches, many of which we'll see while we visit the town. Well, you know, it hasn't changed recently. This
It hasn't.
Still Shawnee.
Still overhanging porches,
Yeah, that unique
really
architectural
interesting
feature.
architecture. Yeah.
Unique to the region, that's for sure.
It's really what struck me the first time we came. I hadn't ever seen anything like it before.
So this is the Tecumseh Theater building, actually the Improved Order of Red Men building. That was the fraternal organization that occupied it, but the theater is in here as well.
And those
And
were cultural institutions.
They were, in the days before television, even before radio. That's what you did in the evenings.
And here's John.
You made it.
We made it. Good to see you, John.
Hi, John.
It's been
Good to see you
great.
again. How's everything?
Good, good.
So things are moving along with the Tecumseh Theater.
Yep. We keep making step by step, inch by inch, we make progress.
Well, I'd love to see what you've been up to.
Sure.
Can we have a quick tour?
Come on in, yeah.
Thanks.
This is great.
Oh, I see we're being greeted by Tecumseh. That's good.
Right, yeah, it's a
Sculpture?
student chainsaw art project from our summer program.
Good for them.
The old coming sign for the Linda Theater.
That's right. Part of the building was a movie theater.
Right.
So we're in a part that was just a commercial.
This was a commercial space.
And the theater was on the other side.
Right.
Okay.
This is the repurposed.
And I'm trying to remember the name of the theater. Linda.
Linda Theater, yeah. There's the
Linda
sign.
Theater.
Yep. So.
Let's have a look at this. I remember this when it was just an old rusty sign.
Oh,
this
look
is
at
great.
that.
You've got it all lit again. This is terrific.
Not just the Linda, the new Linda.
It says new because the owner, Louis Hayden, remodeled this space after it opened as a movie theater and brought in the first sound pictures in the area, new velvet-covered seats, a confectionery for customers, and it was the showcase for a multi-county area. People came from all over to watch movies here.
So the movie theater was here, and there's another theater upstairs, so this was a real cultural center.
It was. People.
And it is today, too. But let's go see that other theater.
Yeah, let's do that.
What a wonderful old theater.
You know, I haven't been in here for a long time, and I'd really forgotten about that whole stage and how much of it's still intact with all the water that got through.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
it's really...
It really is. And even without the plaster, you can tell really what it looked like. Much of the plaster was gone, right? And that's why there really
the
isn't
water
any.
damage.
Sure.
Right, so, but you can sure see the contours of the support beams and the front of the balcony, that elegant curve.
Those beams are steel I-beams, and they called this a skyscraper in 1908 when they built it. There were no other buildings like this in Southeast Ohio.
It's a tribute to how well built it is, that with all that water and all that neglect and all that vacancy for all these years, that you have this much original fabric to work with.
We also have a piece of the original backdrop scenery from some of the plays and vaudeville shows that went on here.
Now, those were painted on canvas, weren't they?
They were,
So it's actually a fabric painted.
Right. And we've saved a lot of the canvases, and now they're in storage at the Ohio Historical
Oh,
Society.
great. So they're keeping them for you.
Yes. People are amazed that some of the first events that happened here were the basketball games that took place. You know, Ohio University's basketball team has played in this space.
Did they really?
And had tall ceilings, so if you had a high arching shot, it didn't hit the ceiling of the building, which was a problem in a lot of the other venues.
So the stairs go to another floor. There's a third floor in the building. Was that the Lodge Hall?
Yes, so the builders of the building were the Improved Order of Red Men, which was a fraternal order. Fraternal orders had a huge role in these early mining towns of kind of civilizing the rowdy miners with social events and rules of behavior. And with that said, they had their ceremonial ballroom upstairs, which is another wonderful, usable space in this building as we raise funds to utilize it.
So you were in a group that acquired this building in the mid-1970s.
Yep, 1976.
Okay, so
we
42
purchased
years.
It for $500. So.
$500 for a whole building.
Yep, you know, is the
Taken a few more dollars over the years, but still, you saved the building for $500.
Yeah, I think you guys told us about mothballing it, get it dry and secure.
Right.
So as time moves forward, that we are able to raise funds to restore it, but keep it.
It's a legacy project.
It is.
You spent a lot of years working on it, but the idea that these are irreplaceable buildings, you can't always do it right away. It's very incremental, but you've had staying power, and this building is here today. And that's really a tribute to the willingness to work at something and never give up.
These buildings, as Nancy said, they're so well built, they can last a very long time, even with abuse and neglect. And they are restorable if you take care of them in the right way.
Yeah, it's really symbolic of this whole area. It took a while for things to decline and get in the shape that they got to be after the coal boom. We think it's going to take a while to restore these towns, but we're working at it gradually and steadily and making progress.
You've probably built a lot of support from the community by having that first floor
usable while you're working on the rest of the building. They have an ownership, they have an experience with it that's different than it being vacant, and memories from their parents.
Right, it's giving local artists an opportunity to perform. We exhibit our history there during Little Cities of Black Diamonds Day, and then people are building up a lot of weddings and birthday parties and events like that. Yeah, which is a source of income and also connects the community to the building.
Well, John, thanks so much. It's really amazing what you've accomplished here. It only took 42 years. Keep on going.
Come back in 42 more and we'll have it done. No.
We need those young preservationists to do that. Congratulations. We love coming and visiting, and we'll be back to watch your progress as it continues.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for being with us. And remember, you can catch all our episodes on columbusneighborhoods.org. Plus, see our stories on the WOSU mobile app. And you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We'll see you back here next week on Columbus Neighborhoods.
I see as far as my eyes will let me. Blind to the distant horizon. Blind to the wandering road. Blind to the stars so bright, right to the